Okay, open the curtains. Okay, this is Rob the Wolf saying thanks for using the show selector, and we'll be happy to do the select.
Welcome to the Cryptic Cut, where true horror comes to life. These aren't just stories, they're warnings. Let's begin.
I should have trusted my gut when I saw that one room was completely dark, but the door was wide open. It was late 2019 when I worked part-time at a Chuck E. Cheese in Ohio. I was 20, in college, just trying to make some money on the side. Most shifts were predictable: sweeping up confetti, restocking cheap toys, making sure no kid got stuck inside the jungle gym. But one weekday night, I was scheduled for closing and things got weird. The night had been slow. Just one small birthday party showed up around 6 p.m. A mom and dad with a few kids. They reserved birthday room C. I checked them in, helped bring out the cake, and that was pretty much it. They left around 7:45. I figured I'd clean the room quickly and head home. But when I walked over to room C, something felt wrong. The door was wide open, but the lights were completely off. I assumed someone forgot to flip the switch. I stepped inside and pulled out my phone for light. The air felt stale, cold, like a basement that hadn't been opened in years. As I scanned the room with my flashlight, I noticed all the chairs around the table were pulled slightly away, as if the guests had all stood up at the exact same time. Balloons bobbed slowly in the air, but the whole room was silent. That's when I noticed a single paper plate on the table with one slice of pizza, still steaming. I paused. There's no way that pizza could still be hot if they left 10 minutes ago. I took a step closer, and then, clear as day, I heard a voice whisper from the back corner of the room. One word: stay. I spun around. Nothing. My heart was pounding now. I aimed the light toward the back corner, but all I could see was a Chuck E. Cheese head. Just the giant plastic head used for the costume, sitting on the floor behind the table. I swear it hadn't been there when I walked in. I slowly backed toward the exit, when the door behind me slammed shut on its own. Loud. My flashlight flickered, then dimmed. I turned and grabbed the doorknob. It was locked. Panic hit. I banged on the door. "Hello?" I yelled. "Is someone messing around?" Then behind me I heard it. Slow, dragging footsteps, like someone pulling one foot behind them. Closer. Closer. I spun around and flashed the light again. That Chuck E. head? It was now sitting on the table. I didn't hear it move. I didn't see anything touch it, but somehow it had changed position. Suddenly, the overhead lights snapped on. The door behind me creaked open slowly, without anyone touching it. I didn't even think. I ran straight out of that room and didn't stop until I reached the manager's office. I told my manager everything. He stared at me for a moment, then said, "Room C. That room shouldn't have been unlocked. It's been sealed since last fall, after the incident." I asked what incident. He just shook his head. You ever feel like something's wrong before you even see it? That night, I felt it the second I walked in. My cousin Jake worked late-night security at a Chuck E. Cheese in Southern California back in 2015. The job was easy. Check the cameras, walk the floors, make sure everything was shut down. Most nights were dead silent. But one shift changed how he looked at that place forever. It was around 11:30 p.m. Lights were off, except for the kitchen and security room. Jake was watching the cameras when something caught his eye. On one of the hallway monitors, the Chuck E. Cheese mascot, the full costume, was walking past the prize counter. Except, no one was supposed to be in costume, and no one had signed out the suit that day. He radioed the other guard on duty. No response. So he grabbed his flashlight and went to check it out. He walked slowly down the hallway where the figure had appeared on camera. Empty. Just as he reached the end of the hallway, he noticed something strange. The faint smell of burnt rubber. Then came the sound of footsteps. Not fast, but deliberate. From the arcade. He stepped into the main area. Dark, silent. Then, he saw it. The Chuck E. Cheese mascot, full costume, head and all, standing in the center of the prize room. Perfectly still, Facing away, Jake called out, "Hey, who's in there?" No answer. He stepped closer. That's when the figure turned. Not slowly. Its head snapped sideways in one unnatural jerk, like a glitch. Jake froze in place. Then the animatronics on stage all powered on at once, even though the breakers were off. Music blasted from the speakers. Lights flashed across the machines. Every arcade unit started buzzing and chiming. He turned and sprinted back to the office, heart pounding. He rewound the camera feed to see how the person got in. But on the footage, the hallway was empty the entire time. No figure ever walked by. Even creepier, the timestamps were wrong. The feed had looped back 10 minutes. The next morning, Jake checked the costume room. The Chucky suit was still hanging on the rack, undisturbed, still zipped and clean. But someone had been in that costume, and they never showed up on camera, never triggered an alarm. Somehow, they never left either.
She shouldn't have known my name. I'd never seen her before, and I never told her.
This happened in the summer of 2021. I had just gotten a part-time job at Chuck E. Cheese while school was out. I mostly worked at the prize booth. Super chill usually, kids handing in tickets, picking slime or fake fangs or plastic swords. One Saturday afternoon while I was restocking, a little girl walked up to the counter. She had pale skin, long black hair, and a white dress. Her eyes were kind of off, wide, unblinking, and weirdest of all, no wrist stamp. Every kid gets a stamp with their parent. It's the rule. I smiled awkwardly. "Hi there, where's your adult?" She didn't answer the question, just smiled. "Hi, Aaron," she said. I froze. My name tag was clipped to my belt, not visible. How do you know my name?" I asked, trying to laugh it off. She didn't laugh. She said, "Because I saw you last time. You gave me the red one." "The red what?" I asked. She pointed to the wall behind me. "The red prize. I won it again." There was no red prize. Before I could ask more, I heard a loud crash from the kitchen. A metal tray had fallen off a counter. One of the cooks shouted. I turned for just a second. When I looked back, she was gone. I checked everywhere. The front desk, the arcade, even inside the play tunnels. No sign of her. Later that evening, I told a coworker, an older guy who had been there for years. I described her. He went pale. "She's been seen before," he said. "Always a girl in a white dress. No stamp. Knows people's names." I asked who she was. He wouldn't say. Just told me, "Don't talk about her too much. She shows up more when you do." That night, I went home rattled. I kept thinking about how she looked at me, like she already knew something. And every now and then, in random places, at the mall, walking home, I see a little girl out of the corner of my eye. Long black hair, white dress, and sometimes, I swear I hear her say my name.
If you've made it this far, maybe you're like me, someone who can't look away from the dark, whether it's haunted rooms, strange whispers, or places that were never meant to be entered. These stories aren't just entertainment, they're warnings. So if you felt that chill down your spine, or if you're still thinking about that room in the back of Chuck E. Cheese, hit that like button. It tells me you want more. And if you're brave enough, subscribe, because the next story might just be the one you'll never forget.
Remember to like and subscribe so we can keep her coming.